people need to realize that the biggest step or the biggest challenge is actually just doing it and launching it. And once you overcome launching it, it's just about learning to get it to grow.
Welcome to Honest E-Commerce, a podcast dedicated to cutting through the BS and finding actionable advice for online store owners. I'm your host, Chase Clymer, and I believe running a direct-to-consumer brand does not have to be complicated or a guessing game. On this podcast, we interview founders and experts who are putting in the work and creating real results. I also share my own insights from running our top Shopify consultancy, Electric Eye. We cut the fluff in favor of facts to help you grow your e-commerce business. Let's get on with the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Honest E-Commerce. I'm your host, Chase Clymer, and today I'm welcoming to the show not one but two amazing founders. They have a really, really unique product. Gabi and Enzo from CMY Cube, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hey, great to be here. Thanks.
Awesome. So first and foremost, we met in Las Vegas at Shop Talk a few weeks back. How was your experience at that conference?
It was incredible, something I'd never imagined that I would ever go to. It was a last minute decision and it was phenomenal. Best decision ever.
Yeah, we don't get to go to the States very often, and then to go all the way around the world for a week-long conference in Vegas. It was good for the jet lag because we were up all night after with the dinners and the parties and all the networking. It was pretty good. And we met you, so it was fantastic.
Yeah.
It's funny. I met you, and then I obviously met your friends over from the women's organization over there that we're going to have her on the show.
Yeah.
And so that's a little teaser there. But I also met some guys from some other awesome kind of clothing brands. I didn't realize we had such a presence from people from Australia wanting to come over to that gig.
I'm so surprised by how little Australia knows about Shop Talk. And walking around the floor and just not meeting any Australians, I'm just shocked, and I kind of want to keep it a little secret because it's the best kept secret. But I do think it's a big missed opportunity in the Australian market. So I'm just shocked at where it's been hiding for all these years.
Yeah, I mean, I know that you had some pretty impactful, just happenstance meetings.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And also at weird hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of networking there. I have to force myself to go to sleep and make sure that I drink enough water. It's just such a back-to-back just activities left and right.
Yeah.
You can really burn yourself out, but there's so much good networking, and obviously the event itself and what you learn if you go to any of the talks, or obviously the meetups are amazing as well. I can't say enough nice things about Shop Talk.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Can't recommend it enough. And also, if you're listening, you should definitely go.
Awesome. So quickly, for those that are not familiar with CMY Cubes, what are you guys selling on your website? What am I buying when I go there?
So we sell a range of educational tools / toys, depending on what angle you're coming from, that all demonstrate the phenomenon of subtractive color mixing. We have a range of products that play with light in different ways and kind of seem like science or magic. And what we like to do is just make learning kind of tangible and put it into your hand rather than it just being abstract and something in a textbook.
And I think that the key for us is we're revolutionizing the way people learn through play. And so we sell a toy, but primarily for teens and adults. And when people say to us, why would I use this product? I mean, most people just want to have it on their desk at work, or they want to have it in their study, or they want to have it on their coffee table. It's a talking piece. And so many people use it for different reasons. But the key thing is that we're helping people learn and understand something that is really, really important called subtractive color mixing. And it is everything that's around us. It's created all the things we see. And most people don't understand or even know what it is. So we help them, we bridge that gap by creating toys that they can also use to learn. So it's really cool.
Yeah. And our products, they can be used for real science. Yeah. You can learn physics or optics or geometry using our products, but then plenty of people just like it because it provides a bit of pause in their day, something curious, something mesmerizing that they can just have on their desk and take reprieve from the day from. Yeah.
And I'll actually add one more point to that, is that we get a lot of feedback from people that have autistic children. And something that I find really, really amazing, and I'm just so grateful for, is that a lot of autistic children will find solace and be able to pause in their sensory overload just by holding the cube. So we've had some parents tell us that kids that have never been able to sit still and or even enjoy a car ride for the first time ever have been able to sit and focus or just enjoy or not cry in a car ride by holding the cube, which means a lot. Yeah,
absolutely. I've actually played with the product. I was lucky enough. Enzo gifted me one when we met, and helped me. I was one of those people that didn't know anything about subtractive color mixing or any of this stuff actually. And Enzo was like, well, let me show you. And he pulled it out and he showed me. And these things are super fun. The product you showed me is like your flagship product. So maybe explain that a little bit more.
Right. So we are CMY Cubes. That's our name. And we're named after our hero product, the CMY Cube. While all of our products do leverage the phenomenon of subtractive color mixing, this is the one that we started with. And it's really just, it's an acrylic cube that's got special material around the outside that allows you to mix and match different colors from the spectrum. So depending on what angle you're looking at the cube from, you can see a whole array of different colors or see none at all. It's a really interesting, and it's a highly visual product. So it is kind of hard to explain sometimes, but if you look at the website, it's right there. It shows you everything.
And when you unbox it, you just understand straight away.
Yeah.
It's super fun. Now, talk me through where the idea for this product come from.
Yeah. So during COVID, I mean, so many people, including us, had a little bit more time on our hands. And I was just on my phone a lot, scrolling as you do. And I came across the idea of subtractive color mixing. And I said to Enzo, how does this work? Like I'm ashamed to admit, which now I've learned most people actually don't know, but I said, I don't know what this is. And he, engineer background, very into science and all things physics. He said, okay, I'm going to show you. So we went to his workshop. We started playing around with materials and you really just made our first prototype.
Yeah. So like you said, I have a background in engineering. I've always loved science experiments. And at the time I was running my own carpentry company. So I had a workshop with a bunch of spare materials. And so I did some research on how we could kind of experiment with this. And I took some acrylic, took some material I had, and just, I guess, made the first series of prototypes. And when I showed it to Gab, her mind was blown. She thought it was awesome.
And to be honest, I immediately thought, I want to buy something like this. I want to have it at home. Like I want to put it on display. So I Googled it. I did what any budding entrepreneur would do. I went onto Alibaba. I went onto Amazon. I went onto all the websites to see where I could buy it and started to slowly realize that nothing was available in the mass market. And immediately we realized we had found what kind of felt like, and what I say is like a hole in the universe. We just saw an opportunity that should be there already, but wasn't. And so we just ran with it. We went home literally that night. We've got the business name, the domain name, like started doing the trademarks and created our first ever website, which was really, really crappy. But we just knew that this had to be done. And it just kind of went from there. We launched very quickly onto TikTok and went viral with pre-orders, 1,000 pre-orders in the first month without a product.
Yeah. And we both had experience running businesses in the past, our own smaller businesses. And so when we found that the domain name CMY Cubes was available, that's like finding a diamond in the rough, isn't it? That's just something that's so rare and powerful. And the idea of a CMY Cube, it does exist in a mathematical sense. Like purely theoretically, you can explain certain types of colors through geometry, and that might be called like a CMY cube. But as far as a product that you could hold in your hand that demonstrates subtractive color mixing, that had never been done before. So it was pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great story. And I'm not going to let you skip over the stand up a bad website and get a bunch of pre-orders. So we got to talk about this. So what was like the first version of the website, and it worked for you? You got pre-orders from it?
Yeah. So it was like 1 a.m. and I just realized I just needed to put something together because I felt that urgency in my gut, and we both were like, we have to do this. So I went on to GoDaddy. I typically would never do this, but I clicked build a website after you buy a domain name.
Yeah, the website builder.
I know I come from a payments background, and I know that Shopify, like I should have started with Shopify, but at that time I didn't think anything of it. And I didn't even think it would nearly blow up the way it did. But I created a GoDaddy website with just Times New Roman, like just text, right? Whatever the text was, CMY Cube, no logo, nothing, just one photo. And the photo was Enzo's, like literally Enzo's prototype that we'd taken. And I didn't really have the website live for
with
a couple
my
of weeks.
hand, you know?
Yeah. We had the actual website go live maybe like a week later, but I created it very rough, like standard. Everything was templated. I just clicked yes, use that. And then when Enzo had his prototype finished, I got him to post a video on TikTok, and it went viral. And what we didn't realize was people were going to Google or find the website. And we woke up after that video went viral, and we had at that time 30 orders. Mm-hmm. And I was like, uh-oh.
Which blew our minds.
It blew our minds. So I kind of freaked out because I was like, oh, we don't actually have a product yet. Like, this is just not even a good prototype. So we then, we used GoDaddy for 3 months doing prototypes, doing pre-orders. And we collected those pre-orders, and they just kept going up and up and up, and the video went more viral. And we realized we had to quickly find a solution for mass manufacturing. So we started off trying to make them by hand. Not possible. So then we found a local manufacturer who was really keen to work with us. Once he saw how many orders we had, he backed out, and he was like, nope. So we had all of this raw material that we had to come and pick up because he just wasn't keen anymore. So then finally, almost, I would say after 3 months of prototyping and trying to figure it out, we finally cracked it. And we got everybody's products to them just in time for Christmas. Though a lot of people did miss it because of the international shipping. And then in January of 21, we then scrapped the GoDaddy website, switched to Shopify, made a logo, redid our packaging, rebranded, deleted that TikTok, and then recreated a new TikTok for CMY Cubes and launched a new video, and that went viral as well. And that's how we relaunched or blew up again properly. Yeah.
I got to ask, you build a website and you just throw a buy it now button up there with a random price without much thought?
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. We launched it at a very different price point.
Yeah,
I think it was half the price.
Plenty of adjustment after that.
We just chose a price and then slowly had to increase the price when we realized that we needed to. And then we found a sweet spot. I think we even had it even more expensive at one point. And then we found a sweet spot that was profitable and also not too expensive. But yeah, that it literally was just come up with random text and random pricing and figure it out.
As many of your listeners probably know, there's a big difference between prototyping and mass manufacture. Mm-hmm. Can you actually scale these production methods? All of our products are hand polished using a diamond polisher. There is no blemishes in the material. It's completely optically clear. When you hold up a cube, you have to have the same experience no matter if you're opening it up in Spain or if you're opening up in Australia. And so having that kind of quality and consistency throughout all of our different products, we're still working on it, to be honest. It takes time, for sure.
Hey there, merchant. Are you tired of trying to navigate the wild world of e-commerce on your own? Are you looking for a partner to help you achieve your goals? Look no further than the Shopify Plus agency Electric Eye. Our team has a proven track record of helping our clients make millions with strategic design and development. Whether you're migrating from a legacy platform to Shopify, designing a new theme for your store, or just looking to optimize what you already have, Electric Eye is the perfect partner for you. Electric Eye are true Shopify experts. Not only is our Shopify knowledge unparalleled, but we have partnerships with all the best tech in the Shopify ecosystem. And don't worry, we're easy to get a hold of. Our clients rave about our fast communication. So here's the deal. If you're an e-commerce business doing over $1 million a year, you can receive a complimentary Shopify diagnostic from our team of experts. That's free, personalized, strategic recommendations to improve your store and grow your business. To get started, head on over to electriceye.io/connect to schedule an intro call with one of our experts. That's electriceye.io/connect. Something that happened to you doesn't happen to a lot of people, and it's that kind of once in a lifetime moment that going viral. No one can anticipate going viral, right? Maybe you the second time around because you knew what you're doing, but so no one can anticipate that. You're sitting on way more orders than you think. How do you communicate that with the customers that thought they were going to get something shipped?
That was a lot of heartache, to be honest. It was pretty difficult. We did try to be as communicative as possible. We were sending emails every week, every 2 weeks saying, look, we're working on it. You got to give us more time. And to be honest, people were upset, and we ended up getting a lot of chargebacks, which kind of ruined our PayPal account for the first year. But when we did do that mad rush finally before Christmas and got it in time for the holidays, everyone was super happy about that. And we ended up getting a lot of repeat customers. But in the beginning, it was pretty tough.
And also, I'll say that I think we're lucky that we've got a balancing force here. I wanted to refund every single person. I wanted to give, not give up, because I'm not someone who gives up, but I genuinely just thought, no, I'm going to refund everyone. Like, they don't deserve this. But we also had COVID on our side because of the actual delays, like true, real delays that were out of our control. For example, shipping product to Australia, or even prototyping took longer, just general delays that helped people understand. So I think it would be a very different story today, where people are expecting next day more than ever. But we also quickly, after we launched the pre-order, when we first launched, we didn't actually communicate that it was pre-order, because we didn't realize it was going to happen so quickly. So we had to then shift that messaging and say, hey, this is actually a pre-order. Let us know if you don't want to wait. And I think we had 1%, no, not even 0.5% of people say, I don't want to wait. Everyone else was wanting to wait because they didn't have that product available anywhere else.
Right. And so Gab did want to refund some of these people after, a month and a half or two. And I just thought, look, let's just be completely transparent. Let's talk to them, tell them what's going on. If they want to take a chargeback, that's their choice, but we shouldn't preempt that. Because I know that we can do this. I know we can deliver, and I know they're going to be happy when they get the product. So let's leave it, let's just talk to them. If they want to do it, so be it. But if not, then we'll fulfill. And we did. Yeah.
I think the one other thing I'll say is that what I've come out of this situation realizing is that every single person, they just think they're one person. And so for me, it felt like 1,000 customers, but for those people, it was just that one person. So if I email them saying, sorry for the delay, they don't know that they're sitting in a pool of 1,000 other people that they could communicate with and go, rah, but they don't do that, because they're just that person. They're like, oh, I understand. It's okay. And when you start to see those responses like, oh, I understand, it's okay, you realize that it's not 3,000 people standing in a group together all going, rah. It's just they're one person at home understanding the situation. So that definitely helped.
Absolutely. Let's talk about that transition to Shopify and the relaunch. What kind of drove that?
So when we first launched on that GoDaddy website builder, which is, it's terribly unfunctional, we did it because it was easy and we needed something quick. But when we realized that we were getting a lot of orders and there was going to be a lot of data management, customers' information, all of this stuff that we were going to have to reconcile, obviously Shopify would be the choice for that. I mean, it wasn't, even from the beginning, we knew that eventually we were going to have to get to Shopify. It made our reporting really difficult for the first year or two because we had those two different platforms to go across. But it was definitely the right choice.
Yeah, and they didn't talk to each other. And for the first 3 months that we had GoDaddy, when we shipped the orders, there was no fulfillment third-party app that connected with GoDaddy. So we were literally downloading spreadsheets from GoDaddy and then uploading them to Ozpost to try and fulfill the orders through labels. It was the biggest nightmare ever. So the transition was definitely exciting and made me so much more clear on the goals like conversion rates and AOVs and returning customer rates. And I was finally able to track and look at those numbers for the first time.
I can only imagine the nightmare of trying to get a simple answer on a non-technical platform like what I'm assuming you were dealing with GoDaddy.
Oh,
it worked. It was good because we needed something fast. And it worked. I mean, it took payments. We could see orders, right? But as far as what you actually need to run an e-commerce business.
No, it's not meant for that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the beauty of what that proved and what your product proved is there was like a want for this product and people were willing to deal with a bad experience to buy this product. But like, then there's a difference between like when you're, if you think about it from a SaaS perspective of like the idea of building an MVP. It's like you guys built an MVP and it it crushed, and it was like, oh, we have to do this the right way now.
Yeah.
This won't scale.
Oh yeah, and also, I mean, we had a lot of clunky things happen because of it. To be honest, if we didn't act as quickly as we did, it could have gone a very different direction.
We might have lost the momentum because, building a great Shopify store, you can just use some free theme and throw something up there, and that might work, but it just seems like a higher barrier to entry to make some amazing Shopify store than it was to just, use the GoDaddy web builder, do something quick and get something working.
But in actual fact, I mean, obviously I could have just done that with Shopify, but when you're in the moment, you just do what you do, and if you don't know, you don't know, right? But also, I would say when we moved to Shopify, it was also with our rebrand. So we launched with our new logo, with our new packaging. Everything was much cleaner. And so with our original website and our original packaging, it's almost as if it was a different brand. I sometimes think maybe people think it was a different brand, and they're now switching to our brand. They've got the original. I've even seen people put out our first ever run of products on Facebook Marketplace and call them vintage. Because the packaging,
with the old packaging.
The packaging is just plain white with the words CMY Cubes. So maybe they think it's vintage, maybe they think it's a different brand. I don't know.
That's amazing. Now, talk to me about how obviously you went viral again on TikTok, and obviously you lend a lot of your success to that platform. Talk to me about how you kind of harness the strength of TikTok, and then my immediate follow-up is going to be like, then how'd you diversify and take your eggs out of being stuck in one basket, which is obviously a terrifying way to grow?
It's funny what you said earlier, that you can't predict virality, but if there's one thing that Gab can do, it's actually consistently go viral, whether it's on TikTok or Reddit or Instagram. She really does have a sort of formula for it.
Yeah, I think the thing is at that time, I was really obsessed with the merging TikTok. It was very new in Australia, and there was kind of things we were hearing in the background, like if you delete your app, you upload a video and you delete your app, the video will go viral because they're trying to get you back on the app. And so, I mean, I tried all these things, but relaunching the video was definitely an interesting one because I did kind of use tactics that I knew would go viral. Enzo relaunched with a video of him trying to break the product, and it became a series, but he never actually finished the act of breaking it. He would move on to the next one, which got people really angry. I just knew that would feed virality. And so then it became a series, and you can kind of predict it in that way. Like, controversy does sell, and it does also help you go viral if people are being trolling or kind of debating in the comments. So if you can kind of ride that fine line of not being negative or not affecting your brand in a bad way, just feeding that virality, then you can do it really well. The other thing is that I figured out how to go viral on Reddit too, which was really helping us go viral, like make a lot of sales really quickly over and over. And that was something I'd never experienced before. So I started to play with friends and get them to post on Reddit, and then I would feed the comments, and it acts the same way. It's just a different platform. So I was kind of obsessed with it for the first half of our business. I was like constantly finding new ways to go viral. I'm still doing that now, but I work with a content creator to do it. We focus on it together across multiple accounts. But at the beginning, it was all about jumping on that momentum and then getting a lot of sales and then doing it all over again. And it helped us grow really fast.
That's amazing. Now, let's fast forward a little bit to what's going on now. You guys have definitely diversified a bit more, and you've got now some more traditional retail accounts, I guess is what you'd call them. And you've got your product that's been featured in some crazy places, or it's for sale in some crazy gift shops. You want to share anything about that?
Yeah. So at this point, we're in 300 plus retailers worldwide. Some of them that I'm really proud of. We're in the National Children's Museum in Washington, D.C. We're in the Museum of Contemporary Art here in Sydney, Australia. And we're in the MoMA, San Francisco, Tokyo, and New York. So we've definitely spread out around the world. And to be honest, we didn't know that this was going to happen when we first started, but when I was a kid, my favorite place to be was the gift shop at the museum, right? Like if it was the Museum of Discovery and Science or some kind of hands-on museum, that was my favorite place where there's gyroscopes and there's lasers and there's magnets. And now our product is in the gift shop in a museum. And it's probably one of the things I'm the most proud of.
And it's funny because we never imagined that they would be in gift shops, but they're the perfect spot for it. But we also did a partnership with someone that we have watched on YouTube, and Enzo much longer than I have. We did a partnership with Vsauce. He's got 20 million plus subscribers on YouTube.
YouTube royalty in the science space. Vsauce.
Yeah, and he reached out to us in our second year of business, or the first year of business, and we did a partnership with him where it was a pure partnership. So we didn't pay him as an influencer. We literally partnered with him, and we got on a Zoom call with him, and Enzo met him, and that's when we started to realize, like, what have we created? This is incredible. And now seeing the stores that are approaching us, I mean, some of them we've come full circle. When I first visited Florida with Enzo years ago, and he took me to the Philip and Patricia Frost Museum in Miami, and we had a great experience. And now we're in the gift shop, which still blows my mind. And I think I'm really proud of it.
That's amazing. We could talk forever, but I need to be mindful of your time. Now, is there anything I didn't ask you about that you think would resonate with our audience?
That's a great question. I think, I don't know if it's necessarily that you didn't ask us, but I think just in general, like, people always say to me, it looks like you have been so lucky or just have stumbled across a business that I could never do. And I think what I always tell people that say, like, I wish I could do that, or I wish I could just get a business and make it huge. I think people need to realize that the biggest step or the biggest challenge is actually just doing it and launching it. And once you overcome launching it, it's just about learning to get it to grow and being willing to learn the tools and get on the tools and understand the different platforms to be able to launch yourself on social commerce, because I think social commerce is the future. It is the current and it is the future. And I think if you're listening and you just really want to do something, or you want to figure out how to crack the code, on e-commerce or social media, just do it. Get your hands dirty and don't be afraid of what anyone's going to think of you, because at the end of the day, no one cares. Everybody is doing their own thing, and you're the only person that can make it happen.
Yeah. I'd say that running an e-commerce business it's definitely hard work, but it's easier than you'd think. And there's actually a lot of resources out there where you can learn how to do this. And you can start small, because some people, I think, they see these massive brands with this huge success and millions of orders, and they become afraid.
And employees.
Yes. You can be afraid of that size, but I know plenty of people that run successful e-commerce businesses, and it's more of a lifestyle business. It's just something that they do instead of their job, and it pays the bills. But they're in control, and they get to develop products that are meaningful to them and share those with the world. And so I'd say if you're interested, just get started. Yeah.
And if you have a feeling in your stomach of like, I think this product doesn't exist, or I think I could do this, just do it.
Do it.
Yeah. You don't need to order 1,000 units. You could just order 50 and just see if it works, but just do it.
Yeah, that's amazing advice. I think action is the number one thing that separates people that are successful from people that aren't successful. It's just like, just take action and do it. And even if it's wrong, who cares? You learn something and try something else.
Yeah.
Enzo, Gabi, you talked so much about how cool this product looks. If I want to check it out, where do I go? How can I see this product?
So you can go to our website, cmycubes.com. You can go on any social media channel, CMY Cubes. You can just Google CMY Cubes, will probably pop up. Amazon, make sure to look for the original CMY Cubes, or search for our name in the description, because there are some others that aren't ours. So keep an eye out for us.
Yeah, do not support the ripoffs.
No.
Enzo and Gabi, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
We can't thank our guests enough for coming on the show and sharing their knowledge and journey with us. We've got a lot to think about and potentially add into our own businesses. You can find all the links in the show notes You can subscribe to the newsletter at honestecommerce.co to get each episode delivered right into your inbox. If you're enjoying this content, consider leaving a review on iTunes. That really helps us out. Lastly, if you're a store owner looking for an amazing partner to help you get your Shopify store to the next level, reach out to Electric Eye at electriceye.io/connect. Until next time.